Hey guys, welcome back to F1 23, where today we'll be getting underway for the first race here in F1 23 on our My Team career mode to prove we belong in F1 and see what our pace is really like compared to every other car. Well, here in qualifying for the first time in this car to see what the car's like, what the pace is like here in Bahrain for the first time. Well, out for my flying lap now, my first flying lap in the car, my first flying lap in qualifying. What can we do as we cross the line and we're starting to pick up the pace? Into turn one, going to try and keep it nice and tidy. We go a wee bit too wide and that's going to massively affect our time here in qualifying. It won't be the best time as I did go way too wide down into turn one, and I think that's going to be the big issue with the braking power on the car in F123 isn't as powerful as it was in F122, and I think that's one thing I'm going to need to adjust to in F123. And the traction is so much better here in F123 as I'm playing on medium traction control, and if I did this the way I'm hitting a throttle in F122, I'd be off in a barrier somewhere trying to get out the gravel or something like that. But now about to cross the line, activating DRS near enough instantly up into 5th. It is going to be a 1:33.0 as I'm going to go for another flying lap for some reason, as turn 1 is a lot tighter. That's what we're looking for. It's a nice turn 1, but it's a slidey turn 2 and turn 3 on the curve. That's going to affect our time massively as well, but we're about a 10th up on our time, but our ERS is running short, and that will probably affect our lap time as well. Trying to just get on the power nice and early, going through the S's here. Very tricky section of the lap as we run down into the downhill hairpin where the traction out of it is very hard to get right. Try not to spin the car and end up in the barrier as we go into the tricky turn 10, which I really do not like. I don't think anybody likes turn 10 in Bahrain. Now skipping ahead in the lap, what can we do coming around the final turn now? Trying to get a good exit. There's a wee bit of a snap on the rear end. What can we do? We're about 2 tenths off on our time. We're going to run short because of ERS, but we're going to improve and do a 1:32.775 for my second flying lap here in Bahrain in the car. And with this pace, we might be able to get into Q2 here in our first race on the F1 23 game in our My Team car. Now going on to my third flying lap now. What can I do? Car maxing out in 8th gear. I'm going to keep it nice and tight on the inside line, getting on the throttle nice and early. It's not a big slide into turn 2, which is good. Now down the straight, what can we do? We're about 2 tenths up on our time already, going through the right hander as I'm a wee bit deeper than I would have liked, as I went from 2 tenths up to about a 10th up on my time, and now not even a 10th up, and this is where I struggle. Set to 2, set to 1 I'm okay, set to 2 I'm usually good, but set to 3 isn't the best for me, as that hairpin is where I usually really struggle getting a traction out of it and getting a good exit out the car squirming away from me down the straight now. Now going down into turn 1, we're about 2 tenths up on our time as we are 11th. This will be my final run in Q1. What can I do as we run down to the line? What can we do? We're going to go P5. We're going to set a 1:32.3, and that's our pace right now in Q1, as the track hasn't evolved massively in Q1, and I think with that time we might be able to secure our spot in Q2 and go on to maybe qualify higher in the grid. I don't think we're getting into Q3 at all, but there's your Q1. We do make it into Q1. Our teammate we do make it into Q2. Our teammate does not, though, as he's knocked out in Q1, and Charles Leclerc tops Q1. Now, going for my first flying lap qualifying lap in Q2 as it's starting to get dark as the floodlights are on now. Down into turn 1, what can I do? Keeping it nice and tight, it's a wee bit wider than I would have liked. This back end squirming all over the place as the back end steps out, and I've spun the car on the exit of turn 2 as I tried to get the most traction I could out of there, and that's a very tricky section of the lap. And if that's how I've done it in Q2 in qualifying, maybe the race won't be as smooth sailing as I would have thought. Now into the right hander. I'm not going to continue with this flying lap, I'm just going to keep it nice and easy, and then I will do another flying lap, because my other flying lap now it does say only lap 1 because I did go into the pits after I spun the car, but trying to keep it nice and tidy through the left hander. It is nice and tidy through the left hander, through the right hander, now down the straight past the Rolex signs, down into the tricky right hander, keeping it nice and tight. I can't keep it nice and tight, I keep on going wide as I keep the front end in track limits, so I don't get a warning for track limits or get my time deleted as we go into the downhill right hander, trying to keep it nice and tight. Doesn't work up the hill now and through the left hander where we saw down into turn 10 where we saw Fernando Alonso at the start of the season making a magnificent overtake on Lewis Hamilton as we go down the straight now, and DRS is on. Now going down into the last turn, what can I do? Coming out the last turn, the back end's a wee bit squirmish, and this will be my final run in Q2. What can I do? Where are we going to qualify? We are going to qualify for the race. We're going to be P16 for the race as we didn't improve on our time. It's not the worst qualifying position, it's not the best either, but I think that is realistic for our pace in this my team career mode as it is. Only to start my Verstappen tops the sessions in Q2, and that is a bit more realistic. And as Lando Norris has been knocked out in Q2 with Alexander Albon, Esteban Ocon, as his big names, knocked out in Q2.
This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36-mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Perez, Stroll, Gasly, Joe, Ocon, Bottas, Albon, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Iceman, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sargent, De Vries, Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
We will be starting P15 after some engine penalties, but now to the lights. What can we do? And the lights are out, and it's away we go, trying to get a good start compared to Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. It's an amazing start compared to them. We're going to go and try and get the inside line down into turn 1, trying not to make contact with anybody. We're up into P12, I think that is. Immediately down into P14 now as I didn't get the best exit as the back end skirmish, and I think cars are going to try and overtake me from behind. It's 3 wide behind me as they went through turn 3. The right hander now just trying to catch up to Lando Norris and Alexander Albon here on lap 1, as lap 1's probably the most important lap in the race, as you try and make up as many positions as you can and then settle into the race. Later, as the gap's there, I tried to slow down the car and I slowed down the car perfectly, and I get past Lando Norris. The McLaren is passed, and now I'm up into V13, 2 positions up from where I started the race, and it's not been the best of starts, but it's not been the worst of starts, as it has been a pretty mediocre start, but it is good compared, well, based on the performance of the car we do have, as I think my teammate is in dead last, which is not the most ideal situation to be in, but he is only just in F1, as I pulled the last straight out at F2, and that is his rookie season in F1, as that is my rookie season in F1, and it's the team's rookie season in F1, and we will look to impress the F1 paddock and make a statement as soon as we arrive. But now down the straight, about to start lap 2, crossing the line to start lap 2, past the big Gulf sign, down in the run down to turn 1. What can we do in the braking zone? Or turn 1, can we maybe go for the move on Alexander Albon? No, we can't. We're too far back as the back end starts to step out there, and I think that's where it will step out the most. Now stepping ahead in the lap, Yuki Tsunoda is still behind me. Now can we try and get past Alexander Albon on the straight? I am looking to maybe go down the inside of the last turn as he goes wide. He does slide. I tried to go down the inside to get front wing damage, as I couldn't keep it tight enough as he moved back in. We make a wee bit of contact there. I do get past Alexander Albon, past the Gulf sign, down into turn 1. I'm activating and deactivating ERS as much as I can to stay in front of Alexander Albon. We've got massive front wing damage, and that is going to massively affect our aerodynamics here in Bahrain on lap 3. As you can see there, massive front wing damage to the left side of the front wing, and that is going to be a problem as we will pit on lap 9, and I'm going to have to try and hold on till lap 9 with this broken front wing here, as we will try to look to maybe chase down Esteban Ocon in the Alpine there, keeping it nice and slow to the hairpin. Now Alexander Albon will look to make a move on me down into the last heavy braking zone. Now to the last turn. Now we did look to try and do the switchback, but because I did that, I think I would, no, he still gets DRS, as he was behind me through the DRS detection zone, as he is putting up a fight against me. I do get past him though, retaking 12 places. He is going to dive down the inside of me as I go wide and we're side by side through turn 3 now. Who's going to come out on top? We're going to deploy as much ERS as we can, as he's going to deploy ERS. I think he's got DRS on me as we go through the right hander. Now it's still side by side. We're going to keep 12th position against Alexander Albon, even though we've got a broken front wing and we are in a car that probably deserves to be in that bottom 15, but we are up into 12, which is good for our first race in F1, and trying just to keep in front of Williams in the championship, and possibly overtake a different team like Haas. But Haas have became, with the points they're scoring, it's almost like they're a midfield team. But now down the final back straight, we're side by side with Alexander Albon. We're going to let him through. We're going to go for the switchback move. We're alongside, we get the switchback move done, and it is very, very nice. We do get ERS, but I'm pretty sure Alexander Albon does get DRS on me as we're looking behind. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1 with Alexander Albon, Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris. Lando Norris overtakes Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda overtakes Lando Norris. Yuki Tsunoda keeps 13th position against Lando Norris. Oh, sorry, gains 2 positions. That is, as Alexander Albon is almost demoted down into P15 here in Bahrain. Skipping ahead to lap 5 now, still in front of Yuki Tsunoda. As this car spins, the car is spun, and it was inevitable with how much the rear end was stepping out through the hairpin, and it is disaster absolute disaster in our first race here in Bahrain as the back end just kept on stepping out. The car is so slippery through the hairpins, the low speed turns, as I do think we do have decent straight line speed, and it is just the low speed turns that we are struggling with, as the car does not want to seem to get up to speed through the slow braking zones and the heavy braking zones here in Bahrain as we go wide there and now through the right hander, just trying to keep the power on as much as we can down the straight now, and our tyres are a bit worn. Now we're skipping ahead to lap 6, we are still in last position, but we are pushing some sectors, but that is Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri who has spun. It is the male flags, but I am going to pass him because it was that section was under green flags. It wasn't an illegal overtake. We are up into P21, but it was an easy pass. But now we're going to have to push as much as we can because we do not want to be in that bottom two. Well, in that bottom place, I would rather be P21 than B22. At least I didn't finish last, I'd be able to say in this career. First race in this career as we move on to lap 7 in this Bahrain GP down into turn 1. Can we keep it nice and tidy? No, we can't. We do go wide. As the back end starting to step out again, and you can see what I mean. It's just not getting up to speed through the low speed corners. Out to the fast right hander with the front wing damage. We're not going to be able to turn, and we're going to slow down. We're going to let Yuki Tsunoda pass on lap 7 of this race, and now we are dead last in this race, and probably will finish dead last in the race as we're right up the end, back end of Yuki Tsunoda on lap 7 of this race, and it isn't going to be the best Bahrain GP I've ever had so far. But now gaining on Yuki Tsunoda, we're going to dive down the inside, we're going to go a wee bit straight on there, and not getting the car turned in, but we do get past Yuki Tsunoda. He overtook us, we overtake him, and we're up back into P21 as Yuki Tsunoda is down at the P22 now. And now can we maybe push as much as we can and catch up to our teammate, and maybe even Logan Sargent and the Williams. Now on lap 8, there's yellow flags up ahead. Yuki Tsunoda re-overtakes me through the yellow flag, so I don't know why he's not giving me it back, but I think that is Nick de Vries in the other AlphaTauri as he is out of the session, and we will not finish dead last. We'll be P21, but essentially that is dead last because Nick de Vries has retired from the race, and there's only 21 cars in this race running. As Yuki Tsunoda is starting to pull away from us, as he does have more overwhelming pace. Now skipping ahead to lap 9, and this is our pit stop window. Can we get a good pit stop for our first pit stop in F1 in this My Team career mode now? Running down the pit lane now. It isn't the most ideal thing. We are going to lose a bit more time. It is an optimal pit stop time, but we are going to lose a bit more time because of our front wing change, and that's going to put us way behind Yuki Tsunoda, and we are going to be, if I had to guess, I definitely think we will finish last in this race, as it's about 8 seconds, it'll probably be about 10 seconds by the time I exit pit lane to Yuki Tsunoda. It's about, I think that's about 10 seconds to our teammate. Kevin Magnussen, as our teammate is off a couple of positions as he didn't pit on lap 19, and he stays out for an extra lap, I think, as the tyres are very cold. I'm going to have to try and warm them up here as the London Alexander Albon is overtaken by his teammate Logan Sargent. Now on lap 12, just almost check-in lap, we are still in last position here on lap 12, and it isn't, again, not the most ideal position to be in. We have closed the gap by about a second to Yuki Tsunoda because it was about 10 by the end of lap 7 as we had to warm up our tyres. We have closed about a second. We in sector 1, which is good as we're pushing a bit more on a medium set of tyres now round the hairpin. Going to try and keep it nice and tidy, no spinning in the car. Now into lap 13 again. Just another check-in lap as Nico Hülkenberg and Logan Sargent are scrapping away, as you can see on the leaderboard, scrapping away for P17 here. And the Bahrain GP, our teammate, is in 19th. As you can know, that is in 20th, and again, not the most ideal first race here in Bahrain, but hopefully the second race in Jeddah will be a bit better, as I have to say myself, I am pretty good at Jeddah, where I was on F1 22, but on F1 23 it'll probably be a whole different ball game, with the traction zones being a lot different here on this game, and the traction being 100% better than F1 22. I'm playing on medium traction control, and it feels like I am playing on full traction control. The traction is that good in this game. The back end is a wee bit squirmy though, but that is because we don't have the most most car with the most downforce here at the start of our career. On lap 17 now of the 20 lap race, coming round the right hander as the car starts to spin. Gonna try and keep it out the wall, just keeping it out the wall, and as I said there, the back end is a bit squirmy in this game, and that's because we are a newcomer, and our downforce isn't the best here on the first season. But through the season, hopefully we can bring in some more upgrades and improve the car drastically as we go through the uphill exit of the uphill higher pin, and I go right into the wall. And that is surely our race over now, as the left front tyre is off of our car. A late retirement for us, not the most ideal first race here in the season, but it looks like the Red Bulls have won the first race of the season, and it is Max Verstappen who takes the checkered flag to win. Lewis Hamilton on the podium with Max Verstappen in third place, and I'm going to imagine that one of the Ferraris placed second here in the desert of Bahrain. But again, not the most ideal first race for us, as Max Verstappen comes out of the tunnel now to take his first race victory of the season, and it is Charles Leclerc finishes second in the Ferrari, which is not realistic at all with the performance they've put through so far. But Max Verstappen claiming his first win of the season. Red Bull might go on to win the second race, and might honestly go on to duplicate what they're doing in the real season now. But it looks like it might be a title fight, a three-way title fight, if it keeps on going this way, with Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari in season 1, and hopefully it will evolve into something very, very good. But now to see where our teammate finished in the race. Max Verstappen wins with Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton on the podium. Sergio Perez goes up to 4th after starting 6th, and our teammate finishes 19th, second last, as me and Nick de Vries crashed out the race, and not crashed out, Nick de Vries didn't finish the race due to mechanical failures. We didn't finish it due to crashing into the wall and our tyre popping off in the middle of that. But that is the first race in this My Team Career mode done. I really hope you enjoyed it, and tune in for the second part in Saudi Arabia next time. This is Jay from JS9 Racing, signing off.